Good morning. If you want to see how we built this big oak wardrobe, stay tuned, because that's what we're going to do today. Good morning. Welcome to Memphis Monday 262. Today we're going to do the second part of our oak wardrobe. A couple of weeks ago we built the bottom part, the stand, and now we're going to build the second part, which is the closet where you put your clothes in. So we got a lot to do. Let's knock off the chit chat and get to work. This is what I'm talking about. We built the stand last week, and today we're going to build this closet part that goes on top of it. It'll have doors and a hanging rack in it and all that business. But first we need to get this thing off here. I'm going to try the direct approach on getting this thing down. It's way too heavy. I was going to put the ramps up, but I don't think I need to. I think I can. And the theory is I can just rock this thing up like this, push this table out of the way, and then let this thing down. What I'm going to do first is install these, I think they're called closet rods. I just think they'll be easier to install now before I get the doors on. The trick is to get them installed, you know, where they're level. What it is, I made this little marking gauge so that this bracket then will be centered on that little dot. Buy these little brackets, you know, at a hardware store or Lowe's or someplace. Here I'm just getting the length I want my rod. Let's go with about 28 3/4. I'm going with oak. Since the wardrobe is oak, I'm using the oak rod. They sell these in painted and chromed and nickel plated and all kinds of stuff, but I'm going with oak. Here's how they go in. They got the round end. You put that in like that, and then it fits in that slot. Putting the trim on. I will sand and round over the trim after I get it all on. What I've got to do here is I've got to line this trim up across there. I'm just going to do it by eye. I think I pretty much got it. What do you think? You just saw me putting the dado. These are the rails for the doors. I'm going to make flat panel doors. And the panel will be some real nice oak plywood that'll fit in that dado, in that rabbet. So what'll happen is these will go together with miter cuts, and then the back panel goes in like this. The cabinet's going to have 6 doors. It'll have 3 big ones and 3 small ones. The 3 small ones will all be the same size, and the 3 big ones will be the same size. Let me show you on the chalkboard what I mean. So this is what we're looking at. This is the case. I've divided it up into thirds. I'll make the 3 bottom doors triplets and the 3 top doors triplets. That'll give it some good symmetry. A few minutes ago you saw me cutting this rabbet here. I'm going to hold these are miter joints here, and stuck a couple of pocket holes, screws in the corners, and then each door will get a panel like that, and I'll tack that in. Of course, this will be sanded and rounded over, but then the door will sit flat like that. All 6 of the doors are the same width, and so I'll need a total of 12 of these cross pieces. I'll show you how these are made. Since I did all the rabbet, I did the rabbets before I made the before I put the miters on. It's important how you put this on. I put the miter or the rabbet towards the fence, and these angles have to be angled in. So I'll start off by putting a 45 here. Then I slide my piece up against my stop block here, make sure they're all exactly the same. But now I have to change the position of the angle of my saw, because I can't just flip it over, because the rabbet has to be in the right place. This is what the doors are going to look like. I'm doing the round over on the inside and the outside before I put them together. We'll do that next. And then I want to show you how I connected these back boards. Now you can see on here how this inner round over, how it comes and meets the corner real nice. And it's rounded over all the way. Well, and how the round over on this corner comes and meets that miter just perfect. I did that by rounding these over before I put blocks together instead of routing the whole frame. So I got all the parts piled up here. And turn this machine on, and I don't have a very big. I'm not taking a very big bite. I'm just barely rounding those over. Put my ears on. So I put these doors together. First thing, I put a little glue on, not very much. Actually, the purpose of this glue is not so much as to stick them together, but just to fill in the any gaps might be present. Now I'm going to clamp this down. Okay, now I'm going to put it, pre-drill them. And I got these 1.5 inch cabinet screws. Then, after I get the frame stuck together and put the back on, put these backs on this in kind of a funny way. Since I have that rabbet in there, the wood is too thin underneath to receive a normal staple. So I use upholstery staples, or I have this power stapler here that works fine. Well, there's our last door. Now we can worry about putting some hinges on the doors. I said we're going to do the hinges next. I started to put the hinges on. Then I realized we need to stain everything first. I got the doors stained, and I got the inside. Some of the inside of the case. Still need the top and the back. And then the last part of construction we need to do is we need to finish this top. And we'll finish that. And so let me get this staining done, and we'll be able to start thinking about wrapping this project up. I'm just staining around the edges on this top because this is going to be connected to the top of the case. I got the thing upside down because I'm attaching the top. It's easier this way to center it and also reach the screws. I'm going to attach it with 1.25 inch pocket hole screws. Well, we had a little bit of drama, not much. These things we installed a few minutes ago, they came out too low, and I didn't think it gave enough room in here, so I took them out and came up with a different idea. Let me show you. What I did is I knocked a hole in that top shelf and I installed that metal rod right there. And what that'll do is now you can, that rod is you can't even see it, and you can still hang your clothes in there. And there's enough room for everything to fit. Okay, let's work on the doors. Now what I do, after I've installed it, I take and pre-tension these things, put a little piece of plastic. These things are spring-loaded and self-closing, which means that this face of this outside hinge here is not parallel with the face frame. So I pull it down parallel and put this piece of plastic in there. It helps with installation if that is flat with the parallel with this. Now what I do is get these about 7 inches from the end, and I use a gouge as a starter hole. And if you can get this first screw in, if you get it in perfect, then everything works out. If you get it cut cattywampus, then toast. I should pre-drill into this oak, but I'm really not having any problems getting these screws in, so I'm not going to trouble. This is what I mean about these hinges. See, with that plastic in there, it forces this bracket here to be out and parallel with the surface. It makes, otherwise it'd be sprung down and it'd be hard to adjust the door. Here I'm not pre-drilling. Here's our second hinge. Now I can open the door up, and right in here that plastic should still be in there. and I can knock it out. See, it's right there. Let's see if we can set this thing up, and we'll see if the doors work. Oh, it's actually on this base here. Let's see if we can push it over on the base. Well, there it is so far. I still got to put polyurethane on it and put the handles on it. Let me do that, and then we'll wrap it up. Well, we're on a roll now. I got the polyurethane, coated polyurethane on it, and I'm putting the handles on it now. I'm putting the same style handles on the doors as I have down below for consistency. The aesthetic problem I have with that is kind of offsets them a little bit, but okay, let me put the rest of these handles on and we'll be on a roll. Well, the wardrobe's finished. Got 6 doors, 4 drawers. When I was saying these handles are offset. There's no symmetry here, but that's just the way it shook out. I put them in the same place on all 6 doors. It's 100% oak. I think they'll get a lot of service out of it. It's got kind of a unique hanging system. You can't see the rail. And you can still put stuff up in here, even with the clothes hanging in there. All right, so I guess that does it for Memphis Monday 262. Well, that'll do it for Memphis Monday 262. We built the top half of our wardrobe. It's 100% oak, nice drawer pulls and handles, self-closing doors. I think it turned out all right. If I had to do over, I think I'd make it a little deeper and maybe a little taller. But, you roll the dice. Anyway, like and share and favorite, and hope you got some takeaways. Comment and like and favorite and all that stuff. But make sure you're also back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.